Good evening, everyone. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yes, we
So
can.
I'm the organizers of this. It's really a privilege for us to share and to learn together. If you ask Index, when we spoke, like I was mentioning, I told him that see, me, I believe that conversing with another designer, whether you feel like you know better, is always allowing to learn because each person they have their different ways of doing things and we learn every day actually. That's just there's one quote that I love very much. It says that never stop learning because life never stops teaching. So all right, like I said, I appreciate them for organizing this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So let's get right into it. Oh yeah, I think I'd also like to appreciate the speaker from yesterday. That's Ace Graphics. I also learned a lot, you know. Um, I think one thing that I that was emphasized for me was it's alignment, right? But for me, it's like balance of visual weight in your design. Like there was this slide that actually struck me. Like this, that the visual weight on top is equal to the visual weight bottom, and then there was one lady at one right side and one bag and this thing. So yeah. So it's graphics, Maga. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. So I would like to share my screen. Let me see. I should be able to share my entire screen. Okay. So can you see my screen?
Yes, we can, sir. We can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay. So would before we get right into the middle of like why we're here, just to make some brief introductions about typography. It's something that we all know, but just to, before we get to the middle, at least let's just do some warming up. And I like something Ace Graphics said yesterday, which is the analogy I use most times. I see graphic design. In fact, when I'm teaching people, I see graphic design as building. And then, there is cement, there is sand, there is stone, there is maybe, what else is that? Maybe gravel, granite, and all those things. And then, so seeing a building standing, there are a lot of materials and there are a lot of principles. So the materials are like the visual elements, if you ask me. And then there are some building principles, which is like design principles. So yeah. So the typography gemstone. So quick one. That's time construct now. The common classifications. It might be more than this, but I don't know. I like to just use this. So we have the serif, and then we have the serif. We have sans serif. So the serif is like the is it Times New Roman now, Playfair, Display, and those kind of typefaces. Then we have sans serif, maybe Montserrat, Poppins, General Sans, and a lot of that. Then we also have slab serif. So slab serif, the difference between slab serif is this slab area here. That is what makes it a slab serif. And I think one typeface that came to mind when I was preparing this slide was Rockwell. Yeah. So oh yeah, I have this cognitive stuff of recognizing fonts. I believe we all know that. So it's in the bio. So this work well. Then display typefaces. We have this is April Flower. This is handwritten by Sean. Then we have script. This is Bianca, and this is Aston script. I think Aston script should be similar to maybe, is it Coca-Cola now? Coca-Cola. We could use it to achieve something like that. Yeah. So those are the common classifications that we know. And then so quick one now. Difference between typeface versus font. I know it's many of us might know this already, many of us might not, and we are all yet to learn together. So this is just its very simple explanation. I explained this to some people last week. A 3-story building with 50 apartments, and then one apartment out of those maybe 50 apartments is just like a font, and then the 3-story building containing the entire apartment is the typeface. So man rope, or let's say Montserrat, if that's what many of us know mostly. I personally don't like Montserrat again. I feel like there was a particular time in my design career that I used Montserrat that people were calling me Montserrat Sparchlyhte. So at the point I just stopped using Montserrat. So Marope, a typeface, and then Marope extra light, Marope light, Marope regular, medium. These are fonts of this typeface. The same thing for a vertical. We have a vertical, medium, light, condensed, so many. Those are fonts. So this guy, like that's the entire family. That's what we call typeface. So in case you don't know that, we have all learned something. I know that sometimes, when we are talking, we say which font should I use, but just to know this clearly, there's a difference between typeface and font. Typeface is the family itself, then font is the babies under the family. So Times New Roman, we have Times New Roman, italic, bold, italic. Okay, so now let's quickly talk about glyphs. Very important in typeface. So we are moving forward, and these are some of the choices that there's a part of this presentation where we talk about the choices that influence you picking a particular typeface. But now let's talk about glyphs. So glyphs can also influence, because if you want to, let's say, for a brand that is international, that has audience cut across different languages, you want to choose a typeface that can also accommodate those languages. This is what I mean now. So all this army, in Yoruba, army and accent, some typefaces do not accommodate that, and you need to probably check before you pick that typeface as probably the primary typeface for a particular brand. Now, let me start with this. This is a relationship of this thing. So now this is birthday, and when I discovered this, I discovered this glyph stuff in 2022. A designer by the name of Dam was designing beside me at a particular church event, and then she just did this, like changed the particular letter, and I was like, how did you do that? And then she showed me. Prior to that time, most of us look for typefaces that have these curly letters. Can you still hear me? Okay.
You can.
Okay. So prior to that time, I may have been looking for a typeface that particularly has this, kind of letter B. Maybe if I don't see it, then I'll keep on looking. But then upon that discovery, I discovered that just from this birthday here, you can do this. So each typeface has glyphs. So you can change. Although some typefaces do not have, some have this curly stuff like naturally. But for those that do not have, and you see like the font, you can check. You can change this D now to something like this. You don't have to look for a typeface that has this specific kind of stuff. You can just check the glyphs for each typeface and change it. I think everybody can explore that on their own. Same for something like this too. From this birthday, you can see the R here. I just check the glyphs for the R. Then you can do this. You can do something like this K. Some font tabs. Let's see which word has AS now. If it's let's say a stone ahead. See now, this is AS. So some typefaces have this kind of stuff generally, but for those that do not have, you can actually go and check their glyphs and probably just use it. Then down to Army now. This is, I don't know, this may not be what you intended to communicate if you don't have this accent on it. This is Ede Yoruba. Someone can say, I don't know, for those who know about Oshun, someone can say Ede or Ide or something, you know. But with the accent on it now, people that are trying to pass the information across to, they understand what is it exactly you're trying to say. Then same thing for, this is fruitfulness. This is a French version. I can tell you, without this accent on this guy, it might mean something else to a particular audience that you're trying to communicate with. Now, let's go to structure versus typography, or structure and typography. We have what we call, for example, for let's say a poster now. If you check a well-done poster, to structure. So there's like H1, then H2, and have your body text. And sometimes you might have your maybe CTA or website around the bottom. Yeah, something like that. So that's like, you can create structure. For example, if you wireframes, or for many of us that wireframe is like, you can create a wireframe for your poster design, flyer design, even before finalizing your elements. So you have your heading 1, it's big. You have your heading 2, that's like a sub heading, and you have your body text, and you can have your maybe website and social media links and what have you. Now let's quickly talk about some quick typography rules. So the credit of this goes to Chris Doe's. There's this typography course that Chris Doe has, and this particular quick typography rules is like the first video. I don't know, for many of us that watched it, it might not be new to us. So they're like some quick typography rules that would help you. Number one is, I'm not talking about all of them, just the important ones. Double point size in design, whether in UI design or flyer design. Double point size will help you. It will help you, create hierarchy in your designs. It will help you a lot. Create hierarchy in your designs, so you don't have all your text are not like looking the same, where you cannot distinguish which is the most important, which is next important, which is really less important. I'm not sure if there's a word like that, because every details on the flyer should be important, or else it should not be there. So, but with double point size, so you can see this is 184 px, then we have 92. So if you want to have something lower, we can go to that, what's that? I think that should be 46, right? So we can do 46. So if you follow this kind of double point size rule now, and you do a poster design, you see that it will really stand out compared to you just maybe adjusting your. Yes, sometimes you can adjust your sizes based on how do I say this now? Visual preference, yeah, to designer. One thing about designers is we keep adjusting up to the point of, I was seeing one video on Instagram yesterday. The guy was about leaving the work, and then he had put on his backpack, and then he's trying to make some corrections, and then sits down again. That's how design is, up to the point where you send that design, you keep on making corrections, In fact, sometimes after sending to the client, you just hope that the client in fact, sometimes I send design to the client, and then I'm checking it again, and then I see something else, and I delete it instantly. And the client will be wondering, like, why did you delete it? And then when I send one, what's the difference? I say, you don't worry. I mean, if it's the difference you get, so you're a designer. So double point size, you can try it out, it will help you. Then we have skip a weight. skip away to simple. That means to also create like contrast or hierarchy in your maybe typography designs or in your flyers. You can use a bold, like the bold font for your heading. Then something aside bold, like you can. So this is bold here for man robe. So the next to it is closest to it is semi bold. You can skip that and you can go to medium, and then we can also for medium now you can skip regular and go to light. And in fact, if you want to create more emphasis, you can even do extra light, like a strong difference in this now, and then that also helps you in your design in hierarchy. Okay, good. I think there's this one too. For the day I learned this, I was actually shocked. If you check a well-designed, let's say, magazine or newspaper design, you never see this kind of I won't say, should I call it mistake now? Yeah, you won't see them. This is what we call an offer now, because this paragraph is starting from here, and then this word now. So it means that you have to find a way to either make this word fit in here, or you make sure that it's not this only word that is here. Yes, I think that's the second example. Yeah, you can have something like this, still works, but just make sure that it's not a single word. And this is a widow. If you check after this class, you would not see a well-designed magazine or newspaper design where you see just one text standing like this. It has to be a line. If it's a line, fine. You cannot see this kind of so avoid corners in long text. So you need to find a way to bring this guy here. In fact, I think this is even here because of the justified as here. Because if you can check here very well, you can see that there is like a space in between these guys. So you need to fix that. So time is going. Let's go to tracking and kerning. That's all called spacing. How important is it? Thank God that I was listening to some people were saying poppins was their go-to font, right? I see a lot of designs where you see something like this. Now this is it's not as if it's totally bad, but it just shows that this information does not look like it doesn't look like compacted together. I'm not sure if that's a word. It doesn't look like they are meant to be close to each other. It feels like maybe 3 separate words. Yeah, feels like you're trying to say point 1, point 2, point 3. Yeah, so and that's just because of space. We'll start with this now. This looks okay. Now this looks also okay, depending on the kind of design. Now this one now is looking. The leading is too much, and then the tracking is also kind of maybe loose. It looks very loose. That's how much spacing matters. The same typeface, the same font, but the vibe is given is different. This looks like something serious. This looks loose to me. Right here also, I know that let me give this example now to explain. When you scale down your typefaces in size, the system automatically, gives you like this is what you have when you try to scale. But you need to adjust it. To, it does not necessarily to be too close, depending on what you want to achieve actually. But at least you should not be having something like this. It feels disjointed. Yeah, it feels disjointed, like it's separate entities. So spacing matters very well in design. So for typefaces like this also, spacing also matters. In case you don't want to you are using a typeface. In fact, let's say the typeface you have used it entirely in the design, and then you get to a place where you have this kind of thing. Now this stuff and like this. It's just spacing. So because this guy is the anatomy of the typeface is where whenever you see L and O in, remember that Greek part that we checked earlier. Wherever there is L and O, you can see even L and U, it will do it this way. So how do you solve that? You can give it space. You can give it space. Then you can now, I'm using shortcuts so I can show you. You can select this guy and reduce the space. That's the space in between. Or that's just long. You can just use your Alt key. It works on Photoshop also and Illustrator. You can just use your Alt key and use your your left arrow rather, and then you have the space you want. Yeah, so you can use that to adjust. So that way you have bypassed the this anatomy that is automatically doing what you don't want. So you can also take note of that. Okay, I think this one is also very, very important. So spacing in typeface like this is also important. For example, this is in left alignment. It looks okay. Now this one now is in center alignment according to the software. But if you look at it very well, it is not actually like, oh yeah, if you have a question, please drop your question. We'll do well to answer it. If you look at this guy very well, it looks like the space here, the space at this place is kind of more than what we have here, and it's because of this this cursive stuff. So you can manually adjust it based on visual balance, so that you kind of have like maybe equal space. I think that's what we have here. So for typefaces like this, you can take notes. The system might not automatically give you like the accurate stuff based on the typeface, so you can visually adjust it So quick one, we have alignment. I'm going faster. We have alignment. We have what we call optical. So mathematical is what the software will give you, because that's what has been programmed in the software. But we also have optical alignment, which is very, very important in typography. And this is the perfect example. So this is a square, this is a circle. Now this is, you can see the smart guide. This is like the same width, but according to optical alignment in design in typography, it means that this is actually wrong. This is not well aligned, because the circle is like, it's more round. So this is what is correct according to optical alignment. It means that you should not align it based on the edge of the circle. It should shoot out slightly a bit. And where you use in typography is for cases like this. It means that this will be wrong to actually align this guy like this. So you need to make it shoot out a bit, such that you can see very well. There's like a small part that is outside the guide. So that gives you like a well balanced text or whatever. Yeah, it's more balanced this way according to optical alignment. For this now, this is balanced, and this is M and C. This is not entirely round. As you can see now, in fact, this is even automatic now. For depending on the typeface, this is men's conference. As you can see, this C is, I put a line here just for you to see the difference. This C is shooting out slightly to make it totally balanced. This is not adjusted. This is how I type this, just for you to see. So this C has to shoot out a bit. That's what we call optical alignment in design. And it's very, very important in typography. I believe that as great designers, we need to pay attention to the little details in our design. Now, while I hear me, typeface choice, it's some of the things that would influence your reason for choosing a particular typeface. Number one is tone, like the tone you're trying to communicate with your typeface. Number two is the space you're trying to occupy. The space you're trying to occupy. if you have a very thin space, you should not be using a very big font. You understand? You might need to look for tall fonts that can pass the message and occupy the space. Now, this is readability. You need to consider how readable your typeface that you are choosing is. This is identity. That's the brand identity. Brands have typefaces that they use that communicate that people are already used to. Then some other times, number of font that a typeface has. Remember, we talked about the difference between typeface and font. So sometimes you want to choose a typeface that has so many fonts, so that in case you need to, probably use different fonts. Because some typefaces just have just one single font. Some have two, some have three. But sometimes, so number of font that a typeface has can also influence your choice for choosing a particular typography. Then medium is what we call where the design will be used, where the typeface will be used. For example, a billboard now, you want to use something that you don't want to use thin typefaces. You want to use a typeface that would be legible, that people can read from afar. You don't want to use thin typefaces. Even if you are going to use cursive or script typefaces, you make sure that the typeface is very legible, because billboards are meant to be read in a few seconds, not something you look at your phone and then you are staring at it, you are zooming and zooming out. No. Someone is traveling on the highway, needs to see a billboard and he needs to grasp the message in probably 3 seconds, just do it. And then also alphanumeric characters. Some other times you want to choose a typeface that has, many typefaces have the letters A to Z, but don't have numbers. You understand? And then sometimes you want to make sure that the same typeface you are using, it has both letters and numbers and some special symbols like your comma and full stop and whatever. You see the examples. I've already prepared them. So now this is based on tone. These are just a few examples. This is based on tone. Now, you agree with me that this is the same word. This is men's conference, masculinity, men. But based on tone they're trying to pass across, I feel that these guys, they're already looking feminine. They're already looking feminine. And that might be a reason why you want to stick with Bieber's. They're already looking feminine. So I've not seen a design for men's conference where you see stuff like this. So you can check. I may be wrong, but based on the kind of tone that you're trying to communicate, you'll probably see something like Bieber's or maybe more, men. This is Montserrat now. This is so overlapping examples are based on this now. Based on space. Okay, I think that one is somewhere else. So yeah. So based on tone, men's conference, activities. As we go on, you see reasons why some typefaces might not be used. Can you still hear me?
Yes, you are
Okay.
hearing
Can
you.
you still hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So you see reasons why some typefaces might get disqualified as we go on. Let's move fast. So now women's conference now, you see that here now, Bibas is not really doing the work. Now this guy is working more. Then we have this kind of typeface. Now this is Befal. He's also working. Then this is Last Christmas, also working. And you also want to be conscious of what you're doing. You don't want to do something like this, because here now, for someone can come and tell you that, are you trying to say that women they are less superior to men? Just because you're trying to, even if you are trying to be creative, that maybe women or something, but you need to be careful of the message you're trying to pass across, because people might come for you and say, are you trying to say that women are less superior to men? And you don't want to be found in that kind of stuff. So space is the second one. Space, as you can see, if you are going with this guy with this alignment now, I'm grateful that I talked about alignment yesterday. This is left alignment. You know that in your design you probably need to fix something here to make this guy balanced. But if you are doing this center, you know that it's probably not working. That's why you see that if you can remember CCI's men's conference design now, you see them do something like this just to fully occupy the space that they have. In fact, they can even go further to find a way to probably maybe lessen the space that is here, just for maybe this guy. You're trying to make this guy totally fitting, or you can break it and then increase the men's, and then the conference is the way it is. That's space. So the space you are trying to occupy determines the typeface you use. Now, this is the perfect example for me. When I was doing design, I wanted to use something Gothic. In fact, as finished design, I just knew that this guy was not working because I felt like this space here, what was he really doing? It was not really doing any work. And then this queue gave me an issue because for me, right, I want my message to be passed across once. I don't want confusion in my design. So as the head is blocking this queue, I don't want someone to just see it now and assume that it's maybe O or something. So I had to find a typeface that could occupy the entire space. This same box here. So I had to settle for this guy. Even after I finished design with this guy, I had to go for this. This is like a practical example. This is the second one. I don't know why I could not find the exported design. I used this typeface. So this design too, I used this typeface first. In fact, I loved it because it was giving the vibe of like fight and this thing. But after finishing the design, I realized that this guy was not occupying enough space that I wanted in the design. So I had to look for something taller to stand very well so that the Venus can stand, because right the Venus is looking small. It was looking small to me, so I had to look for something that would occupy very well. What else? So based on readability here, you can see. So now this guy and this guy for me now, I can disqualify them because imagine this word is not men's conference. You might not easily read this text very well. Yes or no, you might disagree, but for me, I feel like you might not easily read it, so I can disqualify them. That okay, no, I need something that people can like. People of all maybe age. It's not only using that, you're trying to also make adults in design. You don't want something that is confusing them. So can probably just go with Bibas. Then your body text too. Your body text, you need to make sure that typeface you are using, for example, Bibas most likely not work for a large body text because Bibas does not have small letter. And then using all caps for body text, that body text is one of the mistakes that we make in design because it is not easily readable according to maybe all this design stuff, because it's too loud in the head. It's too loud in the head. So you need a typeface that has small letter, that has different cases. That's also one stuff that you can consider. Some typefaces do not have small letter. Based on identity now, people cannot speak. So if you are seeing this now, this is MTN. This is MTN's font. And then assuming we could respond, I'd have asked the question that which brand is this typeface. So consistent usage of this typeface by MTN has made it known. So when you see this typeface anywhere, in fact, even if you see a designer use it, you can tell that among this guy they use MTN typeface. So that is what identity. So you want to choose a typeface based on the identity that you also want to create. And then thank God that MTN has created their identity. And then so if you are to get a contract for, maybe you are doing some ads for MTN now, you should not be found using anything outside their typeface. Then we have number of fonts. I was talking about choice of how many fonts does a particular typeface have. This is a vertical. The vertical has, in fact, I think I may be wrong. A vertical and Tosca probably has like crazy number of typefaces that I know of, like number of fonts rather that I know of, because if you check here, you can see this is a lot. This is a lot. Tosca is a lot. Then I think a vertical too. I check now. A vertical. See this. I think it should be a vertical sharp. The vertical has a lot of fonts, a lot. So you might want to consider that in case you need to play with some stuff. That's why I play with this word. So this is a vertical, Tosca, Gotex. This is the same typeface. The same typeface. So that's also one of the stuff that consider another choice. Not big. So this is medium now. This is medium. Like I was saying before, the billboard design. You want to make sure that your typeface is easily readable by people that are passing. Easily readable, even if you're using something cursive. I found out that this. I was trying to bring in more reference, but a colleague of mine told me that the video of this tutorial will be posted on YouTube, and I don't want to reference any brand without. I saw a poster of a particular known brand that they use a cursive font on a banner, like a display font rather, but it was still readable. You understand? So even if you are using a display font, a script font, you need to make sure that it's very legible based on the medium. If it's social media now, you know that okay. If people, sometimes there's some argument that you do with clients that just all these issues of make it bigger. You be wondering that on this design now is on phone that you will check it to. It's not as if you put your phone in 100 meters and you try to check the design. Like your phone will actually be with you and you check the design. So why do you want the font to be that big? Or how some clients can be. So, but if it's billboard, if it's flyers, you need to make sure that your fonts are legible. It can be read very well. This is Pepsi. Yeah, this is very, very legible. I'm sure they probably tested this typeface before they, when they rebranded, probably tested this typeface on different materials. Yeah, this is based on alphanumeric now. So the difference between this and this now is this Tosca now does not have this less than, greater than. It will just change to the system default font. Whenever you try it, you see it has changed from Tosca to Mega Pro. So it means that it has numbers, it has apostrophe, it has full stop command. It does not have this. But a vertical and senior, a vertical get everything. So like I said, those are the stuff you want to check out. Even this ampersand, is it ampersand now? Yeah, and at hashtag. Those are stuff that you want to check before you do the typeface and say, okay, this is for this brand. This is the primary typeface. But the one user and way all these symbols no day now. What don't work with that though. What else do I have? Let me check. I think I was not able to completely finish my slide. But I think let's just say font pairing and typeface pairing. Okay, I think it's here. So pairing, quick one, font pairing, typeface pairing. So this is same Bibas. Yeah, please drop your questions in the chat if you have a question. This is Bibas. This is Bibas board. This is Bibas book. So you can play with same typeface, different fonts. That's font pairing now. You can play with different fonts in a particular typeface. Same one here. Then this is typeface pairing. So this is a different typeface entirely. This is play fair display. This is a vertical. So you can play with different typefaces entirely based on what you want to achieve. I've seen some, let's say, trying to make a example now. Let me say this guy. This was the reason why I used Illustrator, because of examples. So let's say Ogbeni Laura Ipsum. So you can play with this Ipsum. You can give it a particular, you can do this. People do this a lot. I don't know if you have seen this a lot. Yeah, people do this a lot. So you can, this is like a mixture of typeface now. This is a vertical, this is something else entirely. let's stop there. Let's stop there. There's a lot, but let's just stop there. So we can ask questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Why did I stop presenting now? Stop sharing. Yeah. So please, if you have questions, you can ask our questions. Thank you.
So if you have questions,
Uh,
please leave the question. So we have a question, sir. Someone dropped something. He said about optical space that he doesn't understand it. That is there anything that can be done to it?
Optical alignment, not space. Optical alignment.
Sir?
Optical alignment, Abby.
Yes, that one.
Okay, so I think it's because of our timing, but I would advise that you probably read more about it. Read more about it. So I also found it out like that was a few years ago. It's just it's a way of saying it's not as if the software is wrong, but based on visual balance now. Visual balance. Let me find a let me do this example. There's this yeah, let me use Aston. Oh, I'm not showing my screen. That share screen. So I'm trying to Aston scripts. Yeah, this is conference. I don't know which other word can we use. Conference and okay. Aston does not have ampersand. Conference and seminar. So it means that let's do the system align to align this to center. Let's see if it works. Okay, I think this works. Or how do you explain this now? Honestly, it's not a meeting. But I advise that you read more about it. But what it just means is that it's actually visually wrong to say that a circle and a square is aligning by aligning their edges, like exact edges. The system shows that it is aligning together, but optically, it is not entirely correct. It means that there has to be like a shooting out a bit. That's what I mean on at the edges. I can't really find a perfect example now. It just has to shoot out. Honestly, I can't remember a perfect example now. But that's just how it is. I believe that you can just read more about it if you don't understand optical. In fact, it's optical balance, optical alignment. Yeah, optical balance, optical alignment. You can just do well to read more about it. Yeah.
If someone else has a question, so please ask them.
All right.
Let me have one question, Shah.
Okay, sir.
How best do we pay fonts? For example, if I have an event and I'm noticing sometimes whenever you're designing, you have this feeling to mix font up. So let's say I want to use a serif and a non-serif for my title. How best do I pair this up? Or how do I choose, or what are the rules that make me say, okay, I'll be using Montserrat and Ashton together? What are the rules that make me choose to pair them?
Okay. I'm not sure there are any rules actually. Honestly, I just believe that if you check what I just did now, I just believe that it is primarily based on maybe the designer and how best although there's some, if you check online how do you pair fonts, you see some pairing. In fact, there's some websites, I think is it font share now? I think font share suggests some fonts that you can pair together. Most, like you said, mostly a serif or a sans serif and a serif, or yeah, mostly majorly serif and sans serif. But for me, I would say it's probably depending on all these factors that we just listed. Maybe the tone you're trying to communicate, some other factors. For example, there has been a design where I've seen something like this. This is dirty line 360, and then let's say T now can be maybe Tosca.
Okay.
It's just that when you so
Oh,
you can see now I'm already using three typefaces here, and it's still working. Like Spy is still working. Honestly, it's still working. It's still working until maybe it is not working again. Hey, you know, say this is three typefaces now. This is deadline 360. This is a vertical. This is Tosca, and this is, for example, like you said, for a main title. Especially if you're trying to do something like this. So stuff like this now, it might be based on maybe a brand has I think I once worked on a guide. A brand has three typefaces. They have a serif, they have a sans serif, a serif, and probably like a cursive font uh for stuff like that. And then you can, like I did here, you can just use this kind of serif now to just like maybe highlight a word. Let's imagine you have this guy continuous. So what we are doing here is just, based like how do you say this now? Color, contrasting by color. Aside, you can make this even yellow now. That's like adding double emphasis now, because first of all, you already made it distinct by changing the style of the typeface. That's already distinct. That means you're trying to highlight a particular word. You're not going to add color. That's like double emphasis. And what else can you do? It's like the same way we're taught that in a formal letter now, you want your heading should either be in all caps or you use small letter and use underline. Exactly, that's exactly what we have here. So sometimes it's just to highlight some particular words. That's why some people pair, or maybe just to play. Like maybe let's say Bibas now. If I use the play fear here, or I use let's say Bethany now. The Bethany is not cursive now, so I have to go back to my play fear display. Yeah, this is playful now. Yeah. So you want to achieve something like this now. There's usually no rule for it, honestly. So far it's working. Where I stand, there's usually no rule. As long as it's working, you can. Although I just believe that at some point there'll be some types that you pair that would not work. And as a designer, you need to, one thing that will distinguish a great designer is that you need to go beyond using your favorite fonts for every design. Yeah, that's something that you should not do always. You have a favorite font, but you don't even want to, or else you get predictable. That means you just be using the same font for all your designs, and then it might not really make sense at some point. If it works, fine, but if it does not work, you need to know as a designer when the typeface is not working. It means that you're just picking it because it's your preference font, like it's your go-to font. So I don't know if I've answered your question, Sha. Index.
yes, sir. You have answered my question. So we have another question
Okay,
from Sparks Digital. We have another question. The question is: Are those text letter style you pick for each letter on Photoshop? I mean the one you use for styling, those scripted fonts, the gifs, and
I don't
are they
understand.
on Photoshop?
Yeah. The Photoshop. I open my Photoshop here in case anybody has. The Photoshop too. So other Photoshop is Windows. You see your glyphs here. You see other Windows. You see your glyphs. So let's say someone should just give me a word. Maybe playful now. Yeah, let's use typeface now. Let's use April flowers. This guy is in all caps. I think that's why it's like this. Okay, not in caps. Playful. So glyphs is also there in Photoshop. Like I said, you find under window and glyphs. You see it there. So you can also check. Now this typeface now does not really have much glyphs, but let me see now. I'm trying to see if I can find a stylized Y. So if it's not there, it's not there. There's nothing that I can do. Okay, I think this is like the best. Yeah, so can you see? It's also there. And then if we have, let's say, let me use that Roserita now. So okay, so you can see I'm trying to look for a stylish Y now. You can see that it's also going to be there. Let me see, does Y have or R? So R also has it. You can see A, K, and whatever. So it's a Photoshop too. Yeah.
All right, sir. All right, thank you very much, sir. So if no
So
one else has any question, we'll be letting our speaker go. So if you have a question, do it to drop it. We have a couple of minutes. So thank you very much, sir. We have learned a lot tonight. We've learned a lot tonight.
Olga, so I don't know. I really appreciate your organizers once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So